Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Tuesday, the 7th of March, 2023, Interest Rate Day. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the Reserve Bank today signalled at least one more rate rise after shifting the official cash rate for the 10th time in succession to 3.6%. But the central bank sounded just a touch less worried about inflation, just a touch. The announcement triggered a fall in the Aussie dollar. It's trading around 67 US cents. In the short term, exchange rates tend to move on interest rate expectations. So the drop in the Aussie suggests foreign exchange traders have downgraded rate rise expectations. Story number 2, the local equity market responded immediately to the rates announcement. The S&P ASX 200 finished the day up 0.5% to 7,365 points, with the big jump occurring right after the 2:30 p.m. announcement from the Reserve Bank. Energy and consumer discretionary stocks did best, while materials underperformed. Among the large caps, all the banks were higher, with ANZ, Macquarie Group and Westpac rising more than 1%. The big miners were mixed. Fortescue was higher, while BHP and Rio were lower. Wesfarmers, Woolworths, Santos, QBE Insurance and Woodside all rose more than 1%. Now, Rio's fall came after it said it had been fined $15 million by the SEC relating to an alleged bribery scheme. Megaport sank 15% after announcing that its chief executive, Vincent English, had tendered his resignation from the role, effective immediately. It was easily the worst performer of the top 200. And Canadian-based lithium explorer Sayona Mining was down 4% after raising $55 million to fund exploration in Quebec. Story number 3, the boss of the Commonwealth Bank, Matt Comyn, says trading conditions for businesses across the country are very, very strong. Comyn was speaking at the Financial Review Business Summit today, and he told the story of a major hospitality group repaying back tens of millions of dollars ahead of schedule because things were so good. He also expects banks to come under growing political pressure to pass on rate rises to deposit accounts amid an ACCC inquiry into how savers are treated. Comyn also said the bank has reduced its fossil fuel exposure by 60% over the past 5 years. Story number 4, the US Inflation Reduction Act is a big deal. It will reward global companies for investing in clean technology in the US, something that BHP has been thinking about. Now, today, BHP's chief executive, Mike Henry, made it clear that any tax reform in Australia must not disincentivise capital from coming into the country. He said Australia already has corporate and personal tax rates at the very upper end of OECD countries, and while tax reform is hard, it's important to do so as to serve the national interest. Henry also said that recent changes to economic policy in China is a positive sign for commodities demand and global growth. Earlier this week, Beijing nominated a 5% target for growth this year. And finally, story number 5, staying with the international theme, South American nations are stepping up efforts to become players in the electric vehicle supply chain area by leveraging their vast mineral wealth and in turn becoming serious challenges to nations like Australia. Argentina, Chile, Bolivia and Brazil plan to coordinate action on turning more of the region's mined lithium into battery chemicals, as well as moving into manufacturing of batteries and EVs, according to Argentinian officials. The drive across the key producing regions of South America reflects a growing global trend by resource-rich nations to shift away from just supplying raw materials, but also developing high-value activities. It's happening closer to home too. Indonesia has laid out its ambition to become a global battery hub for electric vehicles as demand for greener transport skyrockets. That's it for the afternoon report for Tuesday, the 7th of March, 2023. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Wednesday edition of Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.